Good morning, Great Britain, and all the British warriors out there. It's me, Phil, and my ever faithful Wellington. So all you people who keep complaining about the birds, please turn off now. This is my house and my birds, and I'm not in a TV studio. I'm doing this just to try and inform people out there what's going on. If you don't like a few birds singing, don't watch, fine. Right, that's that out of the way. That's the miserable bit. Right, been a lot going on this weekend. Hell of a lot. Who should we start with? I think we'll start with TR. The big Tommy Robinson. That guy can't keep himself out of the news, can he, poor bugger. He actually has a day off. He goes up, his wife's friend, it's her birthday, so they go up to Ascot to see the horse racing. Poor old Tommy gets up there and he's straight on his videoing himself on his phone, saying God he wishes he was in London for the lads march, which I'll talk about a bit later. And at the end of the day they go to get back on their coach, but him and his wife are followed by this absolute nutter, junk out of his head obviously, because you can see when he gets up, and he tries to drag Tommy off the coach as he tries to get on there. So Tommy does what we'd all do and gives him a good pasting. But guess where it's done? It's done in front of the coach, and the Muslim coach driver that Tommy was given, Tommy Robinson was given a Muslim coach driver to take him to Ascot, had taken a video and he sold it, I should imagine. And the Daily Mirror, I think it was, had it up on its site saying unedited version of Tommy Robinson beating up a man. And it was brilliant. They've taken it down now, so unless you managed to see it already, you probably won't get to see it. It shows straight ahead, obviously, through the windscreen of the coach. And in front of it, there's this other coach, a sort of beige yellow colour with King's something on it. And you see Tommy come into view, and he sort of looks behind him. Obviously somebody's there giving him grief. And then all of a sudden, this coach that you can see right in front of you goes, ping! Just disappears. And then all of a sudden, Tommy's beating up this bloke. And he wasn't beating him up, he was defending himself. But somehow, just somehow, the bloke had forgotten that he'd edited his video. And I should think that the Daily Mirror are now asking for their money back. So, if the charges are made against Tommy over this, then we should all go ballistic, because a man is allowed to defend himself. When he knocked the bloke down, the bloke was there waiting, easy me. Tommy waited for him to get up, but as he got up, he grabbed Tommy's jacket. So Tommy had to put him down again, which, you know, that's fair enough. But he was letting him get up. He didn't just start beating on him while he was down. Anyway, that's Tommy done for you. That probably should lead into the lads march, really. It's not the order that I've got it on my little iPad here, but I think it does lead into the lads march. So that was football fans. I'd seen, it was only advertised I saw, I think, on Twitter, and I didn't think many people had seen it. So because my Achilles wasn't quite right, I decided no, I won't go, just in case it's a really poor turnout if it's not been advertised well. And what happens? 10,000 football fans from all over the country put aside their rivalries, fiercest rivalry, fiercest. I always stumble over one word. It's going to be fiercest today. Fiercest rivals you can imagine. They come together and they go and lay wreaths at the scene of the Tower Bridge crime, the murders. And it is a totally peaceful march, totally respectful. 10,000 people. I am absolutely astonished. I'm dumbfounded by how brilliant that was. And the person who organised that, you want to organise some more, because there'll be even more people turn up for the next one. And the British government, take note. 10,000. That's about what Bournemouth get for a home game. You think how many could turn up? Just think about it. And those people aren't just pissed off with terrorism, they're pissed off with you. For your inability to act. Because you're greedy, corrupt, self-fulfilling tossers. Did you get that? In case you missed it, you're greedy, self-fulfilling tossers. Okay, so let's follow the agenda again now. Absolutely brilliant what Poland, Hungary and the Czech Republic are doing to the European Union at the moment. They have got more balls than our British government will ever have. Ever have. They have said no to the EU. The EU are threatening them. They're saying, you've got to take these migrants, you've got to take them. No way. You aren't going to blackmail us. We're not taking them. We don't want the terror. We don't want our people killed. A bit different from our government, isn't it? So a massive big up to those three countries. I think that's bloody brilliant what they're doing. Okay, so you may have heard by now that last night... Oh, I've done this one thing I've forgotten actually. Let's do that as I haven't got it on my little agenda here. Last night as well, at Forest Gate in London, the Muslims took to the street and started burning things. It was over the death of I can't remember his name, it's some foreign sounding name anyway, but he was somehow killed in a stop and search, which, who knows, that will come out in the wash. How you get killed in a stop and search, I really don't know. It had somehow got leaked out from somewhere to the Muslim community that he had a broken neck, but the I think it's a coroner has come out and flatly denied that he had a broken neck. So what did they do? They didn't come out and peacefully protest. They went down to a police station, they started setting fires, which is what they do. They destroy things, they set fires, they riot, they do whatever they like. And they get away with it. Apparently the riot police turned up this time, but to the best of my knowledge, there were no arrests. So I'll need to find an update on that this morning, because that was actually really still going on. And I decided it was time to rest my weary eyes. So next one. Muslim woman, black Muslim woman in Newcastle. Dropping her friend off, got two kids in the back of a car. And she decides she's going to hit the accelerator instead of the brake, and she runs over a load of Muslims. And there's a video out there now showing her on the floor, for some reason she's on the floor with a copper, with loads of Muslim men round her saying, she's not Muslim, she's acting like a Muslim, but she's not one. She killed them, she did it on purpose. They don't have accidents where they are, I don't think. Everything is a reason to cry the victim card. The one thing I would say is if it was an accident, it probably wasn't helped by the woman not wearing shoes. How many people have tried driving without wearing shoes? Apart from anything else, it hurts like hell. And you've got no control over those pedals. So whatever she gets, she deserves really. But unfortunate, there was I think there's a young kid critically hurt, and my best wishes go to him. But to the others, as a community, the way they were behaving there last night, I haven't got a lot more to say really. This is some of the best news ever. The tampons, ex-Antifa, I keep telling you it's my new acronym for them, I'm not going to go into it again, they're starting to be arrested. At the protests in London, Antifa were arrested. Tampons were arrested Because they aren't anti-fascists, they are the fascists. That's why they had to have a new name. So the leader who went against, I think there's just 50 EDL. I'm not surprised. Probably most of the rest of their members were probably doing the better march in the lads' march. So yeah, so that's a leader arrested, and I think there's 4 other arrested. I saw one being arrested, I think it was in Birmingham, and he got arrested for hate speech. And it's like, is the tide finally turning? We're getting bigger protests, and they're starting to realise, shit, we better start doing something. They're only doing it to try and pacify us at the moment. This is just small fry. Well, a couple of arrests compared to what they've done to the British people over the last few years. It's nothing. But they know that they're onto a shitstorm coming to them, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop it, because they haven't got the guts to do what the British people need them to do. Wellington, come on, I understand what people say when you start screeching like that. Okay? You don't screech, thank you. Sorry guys. Right, I'll have all my birds put down if you like. Sorry. Yeah, so that's great. That's great news. And they want to do it more often. They want to arrest more. Large numbers.
Be a good boy.
Yes, you be a good boy. And it needs to wipe out this tampons, because they are an absolute joke. They don't know what they're doing. They think everybody is far right. They haven't got the intelligence to listen to what people say, to realise these are just ordinary people. Yes, there's a far right. We all fucking know there's a far right. But it is minuscule. We're not suddenly going to start Sieg Heiling around the streets, are we? It's nothing to do with far right. It's not nothing to do with far right, left, middle, inside out, upside down. It's got to do with what is right. Islam is barbaric, and we will not tolerate it. That is not racist, you morons. Okay. Last but not least, I do not apologise whatsoever for telling you again about the British Warrior Within meeting. That is BritishWarriorWithin.com if you want to go to the site, or British Warrior Within the Battle versus Islam on Facebook. I got a meeting on the 8th of July. It's in a pub, and it's in or on the outskirts of Nuneaton, which is pretty central to everywhere. I suppose you could say, if you don't live locally, it's a long way from everywhere, but it's got to be held somewhere. I'd love to hold it in Eastbourne and you could all come here, but the way it's going at the moment, I don't think I'll get anybody if I held it in Eastbourne. I think people are coming. People said they're coming. On the events thing, it doesn't look great because it says, I think there's about 5, plus somebody's bringing 2 others with them, that's 7. But that's 7 people, because I don't care. If 7 people turn up, I'll be happy. I want it to be 70, I want it to be 700, I want it to be 7,000. But from Little Acorns Grow, it's up to you. I've invited 490 people. It's up to you whether you come, isn't it? I cannot make you come. I would love to be able to go to you and say, well, fucking get down here, I've got a coach out here, you lot, get on here, and let's come and see how we can sort things out. But I can't, it's down to you. And I appeal to your patriotism and to your desire to not want to live in a shitty country, to come to this meeting if you're not involved with any other group. This is for the community, to bring a community that can both defend itself against any civil unrest, but I'm also looking for those guys who are a bit more proactive, want to get a bit more involved, to have an offensive force that can take on anything that's thrown at Britain. That's a lot more difficult to create because of the weapons laws in this country. But if we haven't got some kind of force to deal with force against us, then we're just going to be overrun. So, because you know as well as I do, the government aren't going to do anything. They're not going to stop it. They can't stop it. They will lose all their money from the Muslim countries that are putting in billions and billions of pounds into Britain at the moment. So this is why, if anybody of you wondered why the Muslims get away with it, if any of you don't actually realise this, it is because the Muslim countries are putting billions into the country. They are paying off our politicians, and those politicians will lose their money, they will lose the power, they will probably lose their positions in government, and to do that and stand by the people is too much for any one of those politicians that are in Westminster at the moment. None of them have got the balls to stand up and say, this is wrong, I'm having nothing to do with this, we need to take our country back. None of them. It's down to you and me, as I keep saying. I think we've turned the corner. I think that there is an absolute surge of patriotism going through this country, but the biggest thing is people are waking up to what's going on. As soon as you wake up to what's going on, you can't help but do something. Because if you don't care about your country, you don't care about your life, you don't care about anything. Anyway, that meeting, which I was talking about 3 hours ago, it's at the Kingswood Tavern. I hope I've got that right. God, I hope I've got that right. But it is on the events on Facebook. It's the British Warrior within the Battle versus Islam group. Just ask to become a member, it's no problem. But also, become a member of BritishWarriorWithin.com. And if you want a membership card, give me your address and you'll have a membership card, and that'll make you feel good because you can look at it and think, I'm going to be doing something. So if you can get along, please do. But if you can, please let me know that you're going to be coming. Because there's a function room at this place. I don't know whether it's taken up now or not, but hopefully it wouldn't be taken off at lunchtime because we're looking to do it between about 1 and 4. I would book the function room if I knew there was more than 20 coming. Probably if there's more than 10, if I'm perfectly honest, because 10 people can make quite a noise. Any of you bikers out there, if you watch this, it's actually a biker friendly pub. So we could do with you bikers on our sides. Sides? Side. Side to side. You know what I mean. So if you want to come and join, please do. Please do. But I would love you to let me know. You can always let me know on BritishWarriorWithin@gmail.com, or you can always let me know via the Facebook group, or indeed just on my Facebook page, which is Phil Stone, and I'm the one in Eastbourne, and there's a picture of somebody who I've got no idea who it is, holding a rifle in full military uniform. I don't know who would do such a thing. I don't know who would be that prepared. So, that's about it from me and Mr. Noisy Guts and the other tweeters in the back. I hope you've enjoyed the bird song. I'm sorry, it just bugs me that people complain about the birds. If you want to buy me a studio, come and buy me a studio. I'd love you to. I'd love to just be able to go into a little room and do this, but they're all free flying because I love birds. Simple as that. Okay guys, please, I would love to see you on the 8th of July. This isn't some monkey little attempt to, I don't know, become a big I am. I don't want to be a big I am. Oh, quickly, before I forget, with relation to this meeting, I could do with 1 or 2 people to help me on the day, because I've got a big banner to put up, and there's probably a few more things that I want to organise before the day. If there's a couple of people coming wanted to turn up an extra hour earlier, please let me know. I'm also looking for, as I said in the past, some people around the country in different areas to act as that area's coordinator, because this is what I'm trying to get. I'll explain this all in the meeting. If you want to hear this, you're going to have to come to the bloody meeting, aren't you? And I have noticed that I sound like Rodney Trotter sometimes when I speak, so if anybody's thought that, yeah, I can see it myself. Right, have a good week. I'm sure I'll see you in the next few days, because something's bound to happen that's big. Hopefully not another terrorist attack. Fingers crossed. So, I'll see you later. That's it. Bye. See ya. Bye.